If you were, I guess, somewhat in the know with the more experimental bands and artists that hit the SoundCloud scene a couple of years ago, then you may have heard / seen the name Kate Moss float around every now and again. I had recently rediscovered this enigmatic band a little while ago after binging several noise rap releases over the past couple of weeks. With Gnarly on lead vocals, Scuzz on backup vocals and choreography, Ruby on drums, and more, today I am here to tell you what Kate Moss was, go through their short discography, as well as their handful of live shows, and just what I think makes them so special. So join me tonight as we go through the brutal noise punk world of Kate Moss.
Running off the ship again, here we fucking go again. I'm falling off, I'm 98, I come to grab myself, I stand. Young love, I scream, I shout, I hit him up. Who the fuck will next? I'm coming for your neck. Leave you headless, face down in the trenches. Torn tendons, suspense suspended. Defeat horrendous, fuck who your kid is. Fuck who your friend is. I'm more than almost a body, this a simple pop and shiny at the symbol. Watch him tremble. Tremble on, tremble on, tremble on. No sleep in 6 in the morning. Off a pill, off the acid, off the chaos. You never fucking sing, I'm a 6'6".
Before we get into their discography, I'm sure you want to know what kind of music the band actually produces, which could possibly be different depending on who you ask. There are definitely elements of punk present here with the drums and shouted and screamed vocals, and members of the band have gone on to cite notorious acts such as G.G. Allin among their inspirations. Their live performances remind me a lot of Allin's old stage antics, as well as the electric, aggressive stage performances of bands like Void. There are also elements of noise and hip-hop to be seen, with the vocalist Gnarly often rapping the vocals amongst noisy beats and drum patterns. Along with the band's strange and chaotic live performances, which we will get into later, these make for an intriguing take on a punk outfit, which I came to enjoy after a while personally. It's crusty, it's noisy, it's weird, and it's everything I like in a band. It's kind of hard to find when exactly the band's first tape was released due to several outlets listing different dates for each, so forgive me if I get the order wrong. However, it seems that the first release would be the band's self-titled EP, released in 2016. The EP features 6 tracks, all barely 2 minutes in length. The first thing that stuck out to me was the instrumental work on here. My first introduction to Kate Moss was watching footage of their live shows on YouTube, and while I appreciate the live work, I personally don't feel it does their music justice, especially if that is your first time hearing the band. Listening to the EP, you can definitely hear a more structured, industrial hip-hop feel to it. There's this mix of trap 808s and distorted electronic drum patterns that definitely stand out. Mixed with Gnarly's aggressive rapping style adds to this chaotic feel, kind of like something you'd hear late at night on an Adult Swim bumper. At one point, it sounds like just a standard rap affair akin to the more aggressive subgenres found in modern internet rap today. However, the constant introductions and change-ups of the sound spasm across the track, making it something interesting and unique. The lyrical content on Self-Titled fits right in with its SoundCloud rap contemporaries around this time. Mentions of drugs, violence, and just general griminess that would be something someone would be into if they liked acts such as Suicide Boys, City Morgue, or fellow rap/punk outfit Horror, which Kate Moss has toured with frequently. The track ESPY reminds me a lot of something you'd hear in like a skate compilation, and it's also my favorite because it mentions Tucson as their block, which I'm also from Tucson, so shout out to that. Another favorite of mine is Balaclava. I really enjoy how Gnarly delivers the lines in quick succession, kind of reminds me of a poem, but less romantic and more brutal nihilism and references to drug use. Overall, I would say this is a solid first release by the band, definitely something someone would enjoy if they like that kind of aggressive, noisy punk rap that rose to prominence in the SoundCloud scene. The band's next release, I Stepped on a Dead Rat's Head Today, improves on the band's direction introduced in their self-titled, but adds several more elements such as an emphasis on distortion, noise, sampling, and more. There is also elements of more electronic breaks here, akin to genres like gabbers on such tracks as Cataracts. 7 Series is a personal favorite of mine. I love that sludgy ass guitar intro in the beginning, and there's also this weird interlude which sounds like some chopped up background music to a western film, only for it to deteriorate into this amalgamation of sounds and people speak. Though it's a slowdown to the EP, there's something about it that just feels fitting. Maybe it's the creepy text-to-speech singing the band's name throughout, I don't know. I think the weakest track here is probably End due to its low quality. great and simple instrumentals, but I appreciate the references to ACAB and cop hating, so that's cool. Also, there's a jump scare at the end, so watch out for that. Fuck Your Set is another highlight, which I believe features vocals from fellow bandmate Scuzz at the beginning, which I enjoyed a lot. It added some cool variety. If I'm wrong and this is just a sample, please let me know. There's one more release called Cold Summer EP, but I could not find it anywhere besides a shady MP3 download site that wanted me to give them a credit card for a free trial. The EP is mentioned on Discogs and Rate Your Music, but I could only find the release date and the track list, but not much else. However, I did find this one compilation tape on Bandcamp featuring probably the earliest known Kate Moss release titled Warlord. If you know where I can find the Cold Summer EP, let me know because I want to check it out. With that, we get to the band's bread and butter and probably what they are most known for. In my opinion, these strange, chaotic, and eccentric onstage performances make what Kate Moss is, but probably would not be appealing to the everyday consumer. A highlight that probably a lot of fans would know is Scuzz's dancing as the band performs. It's often risque and provocative, with Gnarly and Scuzz interacting with each other in increasingly odd and chaotic ways. According to an interview with Office Magazine, Gnarly describes what we do on stage with each other as an expression of a sexual power exchange. When asked about the theatrical elements in the band's live performances, Gnarly had responded, "First show we ever played as Kate Moss, we set up a laptop on the lower back of a girl on all fours wearing a tracksuit and a balaclava on top of a dirty carpet we found backstage. Thus, the human table was born, and we've continued to push the line each show. When I brought Scuzz into the band last year, it became something else. We've been able to push the circles of music and art together. It's been fun watching them collide. The night always creates itself. Nothing's ever planned or contrived. We just go out there and do what we do." That's a lot of what I love about Kate Moss, their confidence to push boundaries and push what it means to be a punk band. I'm sure the average casual listener could pass this off as meaningless garbage, but behind it is a band of real thoughts and emotions. The way they convey those emotions is different from a more contemporary band or artist, but it's still something that should be seen as meaningful. When asked about the future of Kate Moss, Gnarly had this to say, "We just got back from a small East Coast run in August and we're already trying to go back. We're working with our family Horror on a US tour for next year. As for the rest of this year, we are releasing a mixtape and wrapping up the last songs on our full-length album. We have a lot of content that we're finally ready to release and share with you all. If you thought that we were loud before, just know we're only getting started. Abandoned house music is here and we came to catch wreck." However, this article was written in 2017, and since 2018, there have been no new music the band has worked on. Their official Instagram only has one picture and their website is no longer in service. I don't know if this is the end of Kate Moss or not. I know that a couple of the members still post on social media, but it's not really anything related to the band, and with COVID hitting many musicians hard, it's likely we may not know for a while if anything new could come out of this project. However, the drummer, Ruby, is in another band called Dope Slammer, which is pretty sick and I enjoy them a lot. Either way, Kate Moss is something I enjoy a lot, despite what little there is of it. The band served as an interesting project in noisy punk rap and has partially inspired the direction where I want to take my own noise music in. I don't know if we will ever see Kate Moss again, but it easily is something I would recommend for those who are into weird and experimental music. With that being said, this is Yoshimi, and have a good night.